Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November, what is this, 24th Planning Board meeting. Could all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brief bit of business before we get into the meat of the meeting. Approval of the minutes from October 23rd. Does anybody on the board have any changes or corrections to the minutes?
No changes.
Motion to accept the minutes as artificially intelligenced,
I make a motion, we accept the minutes?
as recorded. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So we have a new public hearing for something we've been going through for several months because there was a change to the site plan, and some of you know why that is, but we'll get into all the details. I know we've had some discussions here, but we're going to open the public hearing officially and talk about it again. I'm going to go through some of the key issues. I know some of you out there will be chomping at the bit. I'm going to start by outlining this myself, and you will, if people want to talk, you'll have an opportunity, but I'm going to start by outlining it myself and asking for input from board members and our professional staff, and then there will be a public comment period. So with that, I'd like to open calendar number PB4 2025, public hearing for a site plan application for 3106 Albany Post Road, also known as Gallon Measure. Motion to open a public hearing.
I make a motion, we open the public hearing.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The public hearing is open. So, there was, as many of you know, a site plan that was approved, but due to an unfortunate series of events, the building did not hold up when there was an attempt to work on it. It was demolished, and we now have a new site plan. I know some of you are going to talk about, well, they demolished without letting the village know, and this and that. You know, just I want you to be aware of a little distinction. There are some issues that are from the building department. The issue we have here is approving a new site plan, and enforcement issues, if there are any corrective things to be done, come through the building department. You know, just to make that distinction. Our purpose here is to look at all the details of the site plan that's proposed and decide if we like it as is, want to make any changes, you know, just want you to be aware of that distinction. Now, Jim, did you want to start and give an introduction to what you're proposing?
Sure.
Okay, and you have the drawings that can be referenced on the
I do.
screens for people? Okay.
I'll do a little introduction on what we submitted, just for the record.
Say your name for the
Sure.
record.
Jim Anacarico with Cronin Engineering. We made a resubmission November 10th. In that submission, for the record, it included an application to the planning board, which was needed because we needed to add special permit as part of the application. We did that. We provided a special permit project narrative, which kind of outlined what type of business they are, how the code defines the need for the special permit in this case. What they need to fall under is minor auto repair. That section of the code, the definition of that, I have that in the special permit narrative. I also included a definition for major auto repair, so everybody could see the difference between the two. And hopefully come to the conclusion that I did, that they fall under minor auto repair. I'll just go a little bit further. Major auto repair basically includes everything under minor auto repair, but also includes collision, body work, painting, stuff like that. We revised the short EAF. We provided stormwater calculations for George to review and confirm the number of Coltex we were proposing. We're actually adding 3 additional Coltex out of the goodness of our heart. We provided an updated stormwater maintenance and inspection program. We provided a letter from Mark Day, structural engineer, regarding the structural integrity of the gallon measure, and the thought that if moving that at this point would probably be disastrous.
Can you specify what you're talking about there?
So the gallon measure.
Oh, not
that
the
was
name
on
of the
corner.
business, the
Right,
name, the
sorry,
name of
yes.
that structure. Okay.
Moving the actual structure itself, it would likely fall apart. It doesn't have much, it's very old, obviously, and it doesn't have much structural integrity to it, and moving it would probably be detrimental to it. We also provided a new site plan, which addressed the village engineer's comments, and as well as some of the planning comments. And we provided building rendering, or a rendering of the site, and building elevations. That was done by Marco Mandra, the project architect. I also provided a item-by-item response to the village engineer's review comments. There were, I believe, 22 of those. And then I provided responses to the planning comments. There were 4 of those, but a lot of those had subsections to them. So we then received on the 19th. So I submitted that for the meeting by the deadline. We then received, and it was appreciated that we got some feedback before the meeting. We received a planning memo, an updated planning memo, and an updated engineering memo. The engineering memo was down to 7 comments, 6 really, I think, because one of them, George just didn't see the light pole on the plan. None of them are very, I won't say important, but they're all easily addressable. They're just technical comments. And the planning memo, again, same with that. That was actually more probably for your board to review some of the stuff that was written in there. But I don't think any of that, as far as the plans go, was it's not that I can't overcome any of that. If you like, we could pull up the site plan next, and I can kind of show you the changes that were made from the first.
That would be good.
Sure. Oh, there it is.
Well, that's I think we want the plan,
Yeah, let's go to
the plan, not the elevation. It's sheet 1 of 6,
Yep.
label CS, site plan.
There you go.
That's the one, okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah, all right. So, some of the changes that we made were we had parking spaces here. Those were eliminated. We had a parking space up here. That one was eliminated.
Now, is there any way is there any kind of electronic pointing thing where people will see it on that screen as well
Is that it?
as you talk? Does that show up there? Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Gotcha. All right, yeah, that's good. Thanks, Tom.
yeah.
All right, so we had a space up here. We eliminated that. We actually had extra parking spaces, if you recall. We had fit some extra ones in just to have extra, but they weren't required by code.
You had more parking spots than
than
were
we needed.
required by
That were
code.
Required by code, correct. Fire department really requested that we remove these, so we did, just so they have better access through this way. We moved this curb. We have a curb along the parking lot here, here, over here too, but we moved this a few feet this way to get out of the easement that's there for the drainage and the sewer for the property to the north. And we were able to do that easily and not lose any spaces. So we did those things.
Did you eliminate one spot on that north run?
Yes, right here.
But we were talking about eliminating a spot so that you could come forward with, off of 9A to widen the landscaping.
I actually didn't need to anymore. I just left that where it was. I was able to, because we had even more room between there. So I
Okay.
was able to move that over. In George's new memo, he'd like me to move it a few feet more. So we have some more room between the plantings and the
George.
drainage pipe, which I can do that easily as well.
Yeah,
These don't touch one another, so right
okay.
here, so it's easily doable.
Well, how many parking spots do you have now total?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the 5 inside. So we have
So 16, and the requirement, was it 14, was it?
I believe
So
so.
you still have ample parking, okay.
Right.
All right. So can you also talk about the building being repositioned and what it was before compared to now?
Sure, let me see if I can, are you saying the previously approved plan? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, before we had, the parking was behind the building facing the
Right.
residences, and now it's in front of the building facing Route 9A. So just, is that the old one? What is that?
This is really just what's now the existing conditions.
That's the
survey.
site plan. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just
so-
like a
right,
survey.
Exactly. I don't have the previous plan, that was, unless it's on the
Yeah,
computer
I mean, I just
somewhere,
meant in general concept, not like
Sure.
you got to give, you didn't have to pull up the other drawing. People will understand if you just generally explain while you're there and able to
So the-
point to it.
So with the other plan, if you recall, the building was way up here somewhere. It was actually over this corner by 4 feet over the property line.
Right.
The building was more like that, had a second story on it, had garage bay doors back here, facing the west.
And
We
the
had
parking was?
We had parking all along here. And we had some parking up here, and we had parking all along here. There was no parking here, but the building was up front. We had a curb cut out to here that the DOT didn't love. They wanted that out only. We've been able to move that curb cut back much further. We got in and out now for much better circulation. It was, it wasn't an easy, it was kind of tight up here. You had cars that had to come around here and come out here, the residents. But this always was in and out too for that plan.
Which is pretty
So-
much where the parking was
Right.
for years when the business was operating there.
Correct.
Okay.
So we now have the building back. It is totally zoning compliant as far as zoning setbacks go. As far as height goes, it complies with the height requirements. We have garage door here and a garage door here. We have a man door here. And this is the office door into the office. This is a parts and supply room, accessible from the inside of the building. There'll be bathrooms in this corner, one for the employees on the inside, the other for people in the waiting room or the staff in the office. We don't have, we no longer have any garage doors facing the residential neighbor to the west, which we think is a good thing for them. And that's it. We have the same sidewalk improvements that we proposed originally. They end at the exact same spot where they were approved the first time. We have added some plantings, we've enhanced the plantings up front, put some evergreens along the back curb to create some, a little bit better screening. We've got side planted, we've got plantings here, and as in the previous plan, we have these plantings as well. And we have the plantings along the western property line. They are the exact same that we had proposed with the original plan that was approved. And there is a fence here along this line. And
Existing?
Existing fence along
What
this
kind?
property line. Chain link with privacy slats. I believe that there's a big chunk, of privacy slats missing in this, but that was part of the approval. Always part of our plan to fill those in.
And
So-
the plantings you're showing there are what, like arborvitae or something, or some kind of evergreen?
They're hollies, they're sugar maples, they are
It's a
arborvitae.
mix?
Yeah, it's a mix.
Enough to provide screening?
I think so. You also have a 6-foot-high fence,
Right.
with privacy slats
Okay.
in it, so.
Gotcha.
We've got oil-water separator here that'll be connected to the sewer. That's for the drain inside the building. Here's
And
the.
that's underground, correct?
That is underground, yeah. All utilities will be underground. This is our Caltech underground Caltech area. We've got 9 Caltechs going in there. They will pick up roof leaders from the building. They will also pick up runoff that's picked up by these 2 trench drains. So you really don't have any runoff from the site going out onto Rock Ledge. They will discharge the water to the Caltex, and then we've even got another oil-water separator for the Caltech overflow, which will connect to this basin out in Rockledge. So,
Okay. Anything else you wanted to add, Jim?
I don't think so. You can go to the renderings and the building elevations if you want. You can get Marco.
All right, let's see
Over that.
the elevation. Is there a way to erase all your scribbles now, or is that?
Yeah.
Shake it? That's your sketch? Huh.
Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
You're not on the mic there yet, are you?
Everyone hear me? Yeah.
I think so. Can people in
Yes.
the back hear?
Can everyone hear me?
Okay, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Marco Mandra, architect. Thank you, Jim. I think you did a pretty good job explaining pretty much most of it. I guess I'll just reiterate a little bit. As you mostly know, previous building had a lot of non-conforming issues, which we now resolved, I think, pretty well. Just gonna come over here. We think the new proposal fixes a lot of those issues, as well as has some benefits. One being that the doors are no longer facing the residents to allow for the sound to be towards the front, the parking being towards the front, so all that traffic is no longer facing the residents. How do we switch to the elevations here? Oh, just a page, okay. The front? Okay, so our new proposal, aesthetically, we're breaking up the facade with several materials. The base, the first 4 feet of the
Can you
facade.
zoom in on that?
Yep.
Okay.
The first 4 feet being a stone, ledger stone. The main facade of the building being a vertically oriented corrugated metal. And then on top, to soften it up a little bit, we're using a cedar shake siding, which you can see in the sample here as well. This is actually a very good representation of what the building would look like. In addition, we understand there was a really big concern with the gallon measure not being able to be reincorporated. As Jim mentioned, our engineer took a look at the building. It's not salvageable. So the best we could do was try to reincorporate the geometric signage, the shape of it into the sign to kind of, keep it as part of a memory of the building. The other thing I wanted to mention about the siding, we know in the last meeting there was some discussions about not using a metal siding. We feel that from the building being set so far back, approximately 120 feet from Albany Post Road, there's going to be no way to discern whether it's metal or board and batten. From that distance, you're going to perceive this as the scale of the building, the geometry of the building. The vertical shadow lines are going to be the same whether it's metal or board and batten. I think this is a perfect example of that. For the rest of the building, we have, as mentioned last time, we have the gooseneck sconces, the black garage doors, black fascia board along the sides. And that's pretty much it. Nothing's really changed from the last meeting except for the cedar and the signage.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
I should probably just add, you did ask us about providing a lighting for the parking lot itself. So we did add, I forgot to mention, we did add a light post that matches the ones that have been used or are going to be used or have been used across the street.
Where is that? In that green strip? Is that what shows it? Oh, okay, that's what you...
It's right here.
Oh, okay,
Pretty much the center of the curb line. Really, I think that's all we need is just one to light up, this end of the parking lot.
okay.
The lights on the building itself should light up this area. That should be plenty, but it'll provide, lighting for the sidewalk itself out on Albany Post Road.
Are there other, yeah,
There is a light there.
street light?
The street light on the utility pole, so I think that's probably sufficient to light up.
So the two lights on the building, is it?
We've got one above this door. Or the other. One above this door, one above the. Yeah, so we got
Three lights on the building?
And one above the office.
Are they pointing down?
Yes, they're gooseneck.
Yeah,
and
they're all pointing down.
And they're shielded and they're pointing down.
And the light on the pole on the green strip there is also pointing down?
There's a detail in the construction details for that. And that's this right here. And that was the one that's being used for AMS. I believe.
Is it a downward pointing light?
It's not. It's got a globe, it looks like.
Okay.
George, do you know anything more about this? I mean, we're just matching it. So.
Well, as long as we're on this, then the question is there enough light when it's dark for people to walking around the parking area there? Okay. Would you agree, George,
So,
on that there's sufficient lighting there?
Good evening. Chair.
Just that one topic there, the lighting right now.
So the the lighting in a follow-up conversation with Mr. Anacarico, we talked about giving us a photometrics plan. Photometrics tells you how the light's distributed throughout the site, how it looks, what the foot candles are in every location, so you can verify, so it's not just, we think so, maybe, and could be.
No problem. We'll get the lighting manufacturer to provide a photometric plan.
Okay,
To me, that could be part of
Okay.
the approval, that we provide you with an acceptable
Right.
photometric.
okay. I mean, most of your business hours are not going to be in the dark, but in the winter, end of the day, people are walking through there, so.
Right, absolutely.
All right, so we'll come up with a photometric plan and, for the next time. Okay. Okay, should I run with a few things I have?
Sure,
Okay. You want to sit?
if you think we need to.
I think you do. And by the way, we will not be voting on this tonight. There are some things that are going to require that we keep it open at least till next month. The photometric plan is one. There was the application for a special permit requires county comment, and that was sent to the county, and until we, so we want to hear back from them. Just so everyone knows, we're not voting on this tonight.
Could I just say one thing about that? So our hopes are that tonight you're able to at least give your opinion on how you think everything, I mean, we put a lot of work into this, obviously. We were hoping that you would at least do a straw poll or something like that and possibly direct staff to prepare a resolution of approval. That resolution of approval would still be up for inclusions of the photometric plan, if that needed to change. We just would like to move forward as fast as we can, obviously, to get this business back up and running again. So
Right.
I'm not
Right.
looking, I
We
don't have
know
any
that.
delusions.
We'll
of an
see. I
approval
certainly
tonight.
expect to hear, get a sense of how people feel about this tonight. Whether we move to that or not remains to be seen.
No problem. I just had to say that. Thanks.
Okay? I mean, the village is trying to help, but the village also did not create the situation that led to a new site plan. So we have to do what we have to do here and be thorough. All right. The way I see it, there's three, in my mind, and I'd be glad to hear of others, I think there are three main issues. And I'm going to go through them one at a time and have the board weigh in on these issues. I'm going to start with the shifting of the parking to the 9A side rather than where it was before behind the building. And I think there are pros and cons to this. I think that I like the idea of the cars and the activity in and out of the shop is not facing the houses behind. Now, the overlay zone, which is a bit of the plan that was developed for this area a few years ago, suggests as much as possible to locate parking behind buildings. Behind buildings, if you're on 9A and not on a corner, there's one way to get behind. When you're on a corner, you almost have two fronts. It's a little bit different situation. But we already have this housing development by the hardware store where they were allowed to have parking on 9A. They have a stone wall and landscaping which will mask a lot of that parking, which will make it not glaring. And that's why we were trying to increase that landscaped strip on the 9A side to soften the appearance from 9A. I agree with, you commented, Jim, that our engineer, George, suggested that he'd like to see a few more feet there, and I agree with that. To get more layering, as much as layering as possible. And then that becomes a bit of a, with a sidewalk there, I'd actually like to see a bench installed there as well. So it's a little bit more of a public interest spot for people Somebody could be waiting for a car and sit on the bench, or somebody could be walking by and sitting on the bench. I don't think, I think that would be a nice thing to have there. I think that for me, given the whole layout of the property, I would be okay with the parking in this new location, because it also means that the building conforms to the code setbacks. The previous building did not. So, you've moved it into a spot where the setbacks are conforming. Anytime we can get something to be more conforming, it's to our advantage. And I think if I lived there, I think I'd rather have not have the garage doors and all the traffic right outside my fence. So for me, on that issue, I would be okay with, even though the overlay suggests keeping the parking behind. It's, when you're on a corner property, it's kind of in the front anyway from the Rockledge side, So for that, I'm gonna reach out to board members one issue at a time, just to keep it focused on each issue. So is there anybody on the board that wants to weigh in just on this particular issue?
Mr. Chairman, I believe that the building should be, I'm sorry. I believe the building should be moved back toward 9, so that way the decibel ratings from the air guns in the shop be away from the house. And I asked last meeting to get ratings of that material with the decibels.
So we were not able to get the actual decibel rating of the wall from the manufacturer. They weren't able to provide that. But however, we looked into the New York State Building Code. There is no requirement that we could find for a mechanic shop for an STC rating, sound transmission class. The closest thing we could find as a requirement was a mechanical room that is adjacent to a residence, and that has a STC rating of 50, which are 6-inch metal stud walls with spray foam insulation, sheathing on the exterior, and gypsum board on the interior will have a minimum of 50 STC rating. So unless there is a requirement that the board can clarify to us, that was the closest thing we could find as a building code requirement.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a specific requirement as much as a board member's concern for the noise affecting neighbors. Also keep in mind the bays are going to be facing the other way now, so
Sure.
that's a factor.
Yeah, the
Before,
building is solid
even though
on
the
that.
building was further away before, the doors on that side, when the doors were open, you'd have more noise. Okay, but I understand that. Is that,
That's all I have.
that's it? Anybody else want to weigh in on this positioning of the building? You're all going to be voting, so I would like to at least hear like a general agreement or disagreement, if possible. Nobody right now? Okay.
Can I say one thing about that?
what?
Appreciate your comment, Jeff.
One
Sorry,
second.
go ahead.
1 second. Eileen?
No, I would also agree that I like the idea that the parking was in the back if you didn't have all the variances and all the issues that were affecting that 4-foot corner. I have some issues with some of the plantings in the front, Marco. Some questions regarding that on the strip along Albany Post Road. You don't have to answer them right now. I'm just saying, but I preferred.
But that's related to this. We're talking
Yeah.
about the positioning of the building.
Yeah.
And having that green belt over on the 9A side is part of that. So that's relevant now.
So I guess, let me just make this comment. If the geometry of the lot allowed us to put the building up front, we would have done that. It's just, there's no way to do it.
It's
This-
tapered.
Right, exactly. And this is the size of the building that they need to run their business efficiently and profitably. And, I believe how many did the old layout have? How many bays did we have in the old? 5, right? So we have the same number of bays.
Is it? Okay.
5. So it's not like we've, made the building bigger to get more bays. We've got the same number of bays, and that's where it fits on the lot. And, you know, in my mind too, I think, you know, it's best for the neighbors to not have the doors facing them. The doors could be open all summer. Nobody even I don't even believe anybody made a comment about that the first go around with the site plan. But now, you know, now it's coming up. But
Right, right now that wall is it 30 feet from the fence?
it's
From
30,
the
it's
property
30
line?
feet, at least 30. Yeah,
And
30.
before, what was it? Do you remember? It was
About
more.
I think we were about 70, 75 maybe.
But the doors
74.
faced that side.
Right, correct.
Okay,
Right, and if you remember, we were adding an addition to the back of the building towards the neighbors. The
yeah,
first-
yeah.
The first segment.
okay. Okay. A- Anyone else?
I do not have anything. I as well would like to see it closer to 9A. I understand the issues, but I do have some concerns with the noise. But no major hangups on the positioning in the building.
Okay,
I don't have any concerns, and I don't have any concerns with the parking in front of the building.
okay, okay. So,
Although I don't really think you want to put a bench and have people sitting in the middle of your landscape, honestly.
oh, okay.
I don't
I
think
thought it would be nice, no? You
a
don't like
bench
that?
on the side of Route 9A would be a safe place to sit.
Yeah, okay. Even if it was set in a little? Okay. It was a thought. We could kind of, anyone else have a feeling about having a bench there? Was that a dumb idea on my part?
No, nice idea.
You like it?
Cigar.
Okay. All right. So that's one of the issues, the parking being on the 9A side. And my sense from the board now is, well, there's some concern about it being closer to the house and noise. The general consensus I'm feeling here is that, given all the parameters, that it's that not having the cars and that activity and the open bay doors on the residential side, on balance, there seems to be a slight preference for that. Is that an accurate assessment of what we all just said, with people's comments? All right. There'll be more chances to comment, but let me go to the next issue. For me, another one of the three issues is the dark metal. The design guidelines, which were developed along with the overlay zone, that I think everybody here has a copy now. Everybody has seen it? Okay. So the design guidelines are pretty, are promoting softer colors and finishes and things that blend with the surrounding buildings in the village. And specifically, I'll read one section. Well, I'll read from the building materials and color. It says, colors and finishes should be integrated into building form to break up building mass and provide visual relief where appropriate. Basically, that's what you've done by using different layers, so we're good there. But another section says facade colors should be low reflecting, subtle and neutral or earth toned. The use of high intensity colors, metallic colors, black or fluorescent colors are strongly discouraged. And even without seeing exactly what it said there, I thought that the dark colored metal was a little too industrial, and we're trying to make it look a little more like other surrounding architecture. I had asked you if you could also, for contrast, could give us some other kind of siding, something lighter, more earth tone. And we don't have that, but for me, that vertical metal, I appreciate that it's a nice looking thing for certain applications, but for this, I think there should be something a little bit more neutral toned. So there's a second issue for me, and I'm going to let the board comment on that one right now.
I can comment. I love the look of this.
You like
And I
that?
think that it goes with the way design has trended since we put that together. I think if you look at new buildings around,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
there's color, there's darkness, there's every new house that's being built has black trim.
Okay, okay.
So I love the look of the new building.
Okay, we have 5 members here. I have one opinion, and I want to hear them all. Anybody else?
Sure. I don't think the design is bad. I like it. I don't necessarily think it's appropriate for where it's going.
Oh,
I wouldn't say it would hold me up
Okay.
from supporting it, but I
Okay.
agree with you. We have
Okay.
these design considerations for a reason, and we should try to incorporate them.
okay, okay. The left wing?
Okay, I went over and looked at this. I looked at all the colors that you had. I took a picture of it, kept looking at it and looking at it. It's a very industrial look. There is nothing industrial around that area there. Day Rose doesn't look industrial. The houses prior to that to the church are not industrial. Everything is a lighter color. Day Rose is a lighter color. And there were 2 browns in that grouping. And I would like to see, Marco, if you could do a rendering of a lighter brown instead of the charcoal. I like the charcoal, but with the color of the macadam being black, and then this ominous metal building, even though you say 120 feet off Albany Post Road, you're not going to see this, it's still going to be very visible. And with the guideline of a little bit lighter, there were 2 browns there, one a little light, one a little darker. I would like to see some kind of rendering with those colors, if that's at all possible.
Now,
I'm not convinced this is the right color.
Is it, does the board feel like the metal would be okay if it was lighter, or we're looking to see a different material?
Well, let me ask you a question, Marco. If it gets lighter, is it more metallic as the light hits it?
So I don't think the color is going to make it more metallic. It would be the type of paint you would use. This is a flat finish, so there's not going to be any sheen at all. It's flat paint.
What are the 2 brown colors?
I'd have to see those colors. This is browns that you saw from the company.
Yeah,
Or-
Bernie
or-
had them.
Oh, burn! I didn't see them.
Remember the?
They were more of a gray, like a lighter gray.
No, they weren't light gray. They weren't gray.
Well,
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of grays have tones of brown or
Yeah, there
tones
were
of
tones
blue.
of
or-
brown which
so
matched in with
depending on
the
the light.
stone. The tones of brown, gray brown. I'll go along with that, but looks brown to me.
Maybe it was
matched
just
into the
a
stone.
warmer gray. Could be a warmer gray with like a brown undertone. I didn't see it, so I'm not sure.
Oh, you didn't see it.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Marco. But I do appreciate the sign with the oil can.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah,
asked
I mean,
for it. I knew
as
that
long
you
as
couldn't
Bernie's
do
okay
too
with it,
much.
I'm okay with looking at some other color options. I just know that the owner feels strongly that this is what they want. This is their
I
you
just
know,
think with
their
the
pride
black-
and joy, and this is the type of building that they're interested in building.
Right. No, I understand. I'm not opposed to the building. I just, as I'm looking at all the different colors that are around your building, Bernie, it's much lighter. This is a very ominous building to me with the black top and a lot of black top right in front. So that's just my feeling. But Marco, I do have a copy on my phone. I will bring it up if you
Okay.
want to see the colors.
Sure. And while we were talking about the siding, aesthetically and geometrically, there would be no difference between this and board and batten. No difference at all. It's going to have the same geometric shape. It's going to have the same shadow lines. It's just one's metal and
Okay.
one's not.
So maybe it's more the color than the material because you're painting it. And is the metal more durable? Is it?
Metal is definitely more durable, fire rated. I mean, it's definitely
Is
going
that
to
a
add.
product that you buy pre-primed?
I'm
or
not sure if If the metal building, they
It
pre-prime
comes
it.
pre-primed, and then you pick your paint. Are these oil-based paints that go on it?
You didn't see that? That's what he presented to us, that we went over and looked
Can
at.
I see that?
That was the samples.
Those were the samples. One was the stucco, which was not smooth.
and I saw that.
Yeah, no, this was,
Unless you got.
that was, that's what I went over and saw.
Okay, I don't know
That's
if I,
what I'm
I'm not sure if I
saying.
saw that either. It's more of a brownish. Yeah.
There's a lighter brown and a darker brown.
I also think that your landscape pops a lot more against the darker color.
But I don't mind that actually. I think that this would still look just as nice. Honestly, it's a dark brown. Yeah, if we're looking for.
Okay, so maybe we just get some other, some other things to compare
Yeah.
for the next time.
We were like in the stucco, and then we saw the wood.
Any other
Yeah.
board comments related to this? Okay. All right, so we can come up with a couple of, maybe some lighter colors, something we could compare at the next time, please? All right. All right. And there's a third issue here, and drum roll, please. So a lot of people have commented about that structure, that oil can structure, and we did at the last meeting ask the applicant to have an engineer look at it, and we got a report saying that they did not feel it could be moved. A lot of the stucco is cracking, and the way it's framed, moving it could be impractical. So the decision on whether this gets eliminated, end of story, versus some way to save it is what we're discussing now. I'm going to say, quite honestly myself, as cute as it's been over the years, I personally feel like it would be a bit much to insist that they find some way to move it, given the engineer's report we got, and that it might be time to move on from it. I know everyone's not going to be happy with my feeling on that, but that is my feeling about it. So I'm going to turn that one over to the board members to comment also now. But I think, just to summarize, I think that while we're going to demand certain things of the applicant, I have a hard time putting this in that category because I think it's a bit too much of a hardship to try to save that, given the whole rest of the plan. So that's my feeling. Rest of the board? You're not getting off the hook, you gotta talk.
I agree. I really do want to see the oil can preserved. I understand it is a hardship to move it, and we have a letter from a stamp design professional saying it can't be. But I will take into account, I think we all will, public input on that. I'm
Yeah,
still-
oh yeah. I'm thinking that's
But
one of
again, we understand that it's cost prohibitive to move that, so.
okay. Anyone else?
No, I thank Marco for putting the oil can on the gallon measure sign. How much bigger than the rectangular sign is the oil can? Because it looks a lot bigger on this rendering here.
I believe it's 3 feet tall on the sign.
3 feet tall,
I believe,
3 feet
yeah.
tall on the sign?
I believe it is, yeah.
And do we know if that works within our guidelines of signage?
I mean, I just put it up there based on the proportions and how I thought it looked most aesthetically pleasing with the sign.
Okay, all right.
I believe the guidelines
There is this
Give
whole
guidance
sign section in the
towards-
code book.
towards
And
letters.
I don't remember sizes offhand, but we could check that.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if you could make it a little bigger, that would be great.
Okay.
But if it's, if it's what it has to be, I
Yeah, I think we felt
appreciate-
proportionately that what I have is looked
Right.
good, but if it allows, we can make it bigger. If there's an issue, we can adjust it.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yep.
Can you make a commemorative coffee mug shaped like it and give one to everybody at the next Buchanan Day? Did that just come out of my mouth? All right. Anyone? Yeah. Anyone else on that particular topic? Okay. Once again, we're going to go through a few more things, and I'm going to set it up for the public to make comments. So just, I want to go over to our professionals here now. Peter, building inspector, you said that in the email you sent us today that we did receive some asbestos reports. Can you explain that?
Yes, the demolition permit was given to the owners. They have since, two meetings ago, have given us, I've gotten a letter from the Division of Labor about the asbestos. I got the Con Edison letter. I've got the letter from the Water Department. I've got the receipts.
Con
the dumping.
Edison and Water Department, that those utilities were shut off?
Yes, all the utilities. Everything to the final issuance of the demolition permit has been received on the building department end of it. We've received the reports for the soil testing, which again, I sent that in the email today, that there was no contaminants or asbestos taken from the soil samples on site. And then there was another test done at the gallon measure part. That was another multi-page report. And that was also nothing in the building. There was a mention of caulking around the glass windows. It may have a small percentage for the time frame of the building. But as of this point, all the items that needed to be addressed to acquire the demolition permit, which again will most likely include the gallon measure part, the gallon part, I've received everything that I need. Everything's been resolved on the building department end for the issuance of the demolition permit, and they've done everything that I asked them to do. Everything's
Okay.
been supplied.
So if we do move to demolition, if they do move to demolition of the oil can structure,
Yes.
they would need to have an abatement done?
Yes, that was also supplied. The report was done in congruence with
Okay,
the other.
is that in piping? Is that in?
No, there's nothing in that building. It's just in
what-
stucco and
what
window
would be-
glazing.
But it would need asbestos abatement?
Well, according to the report, the window glazing.
Oh, just the window
Yes, the
glazing,
window
that's
glazing,
it?
that's it. There's
That's all,
nothing.
that's it?
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm saying
Huh.
there's really nothing that's
Usually
that's
it's
a
in pipe,
problem.
usually it's in pipe insulation
Well,
and
there's
older
it's a round
structures.
office. There's nothing
Yeah.
in there.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else to?
Like I said, I'm satisfied. I've received everything that was asked for the demolition permit requirements.
Okay.
The state, the Division of Labor is, they, again, I sent that this morning with email. They're satisfied. They received all the tickets. Also, there's, they recommended the report for the gallon measure part also, which was done, and I have the report. Again, and it was, the front page stated that there were no contaminants from the soil samples taken where the building was, and the gallon measure part that's still standing. So there's no issues with that. Just going to incorporate that into the original demolition permit, if, I believe that has to, if that's coming down.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you. David, did you have anything that you wanted to add? I mean,
Mr. Chairman, we had submitted a memo dated November 19th, reviewing the materials that were submitted to the village. A lot of the comments that you've already raised, you and the board, were discussed as part of our review memo with respect to the oil can and its structural integrity, the addition of landscaping along the Albany Post Road frontage, lighting. There were a couple of requirements on the prior site plan that we had asked the applicant, no outdoor storage, or outdoor storage is limited just to those automobiles being serviced. Storage of equipment outdoors is prohibited, limited activity would be allowed to get disabled vehicles from designated spaces to the maintenance bay. The applicant had no objection to that condition being continued as part of a subsequent site plan approval, and no painting of vehicles is allowed on the site. The applicant, again, did not object to this condition being continued as part of the, any subsequent site plan approval. So on balance, they've responded to the comments that our office had raised. The other issue with respect to the design, they provided the material board, and you've all discussed that, but that's something that you
They
all...
provided what?
The material board,
Oh, the material board.
right. So they've provided that, so now you all need to take that into consideration as part of your evaluation of the design of the building.
Okay. All right. One thing that was in your memo today that I forgot to mention was about the sidewalk. And currently, it ends where it did on the last site plan, which is sort of the middle of nowhere. And there was, at some point, it was suggested to bring it all the way to the property line. And I kind of feel like then that's kind of a sidewalk to nowhere. You know, we'd get working on continuous sidewalks on 9A, but I think I would like to see that sidewalk come up to the driveway, because you now have your parking in the front and your office on that side. So if anybody was walking from the parking area on the sidewalk to your office, the sidewalk would end about, I don't know what it is, 20 feet before the driveway?
It's probably about 40 feet.
40 feet?
There is a fire hydrant in the way. And
There's a fire hydrant there?
And a utility pole.
Oh,
Um,
that section has the fire hydrant.
That's the one with the
and
light
utility
pole fixture on it. You know, it's our position that that's the way it was approved for the first go-around. It's really no different now. Anybody could walk right in, you know.
Yeah, that's
into
old,
the
that's
curb
old
cut.
history now. We're here doing this again now.
Yeah, but my point is,
No, but
I don't
there's-
want to
there's-
see these guys spend more money just to make it, just to bring in an extra
Okay, well
40
then, so
feet.
what, so then the intention, so then when people are going to the office, they
They would
walk
go
through
in-
that paved area?
Exactly.
Okay.
They'd be in on the site. I don't know how many people are going to be
Okay,
walking
well, I
from the
did say
sidewalk
that,
to the
not
site anyway.
realizing that there was a utility pole and fire
Yeah.
hydrant in the middle of that.
Yeah, it's right. It's
So-
actually right where the sidewalk ends.
Right. So then what's, to take it to the other way, what's the purpose of having a sidewalk that leads to a utility pole? Why don't you end it at the driveway then?
We'd be happy to.
Is that, because to me, that's like either it should go to one driveway or, right, I don't feel it has to go all the way to the end of the property and be a sidewalk to nowhere.
In my opinion,
But if there's obstructions there, what's the purpose of that sidewalk beyond the driveway anyway?
I can certainly shorten the sidewalk, and they'd be happy to do that. It's my opinion that if the village were to consider putting sidewalks down Rock Ledge, it would probably be on the opposite side of the road. It would be on the south side.
Because of the
there
utility
are no
poles.
utility poles on that side
Right,
of the road. There are
right.
utility poles the entire way
Right.
down Rock Ledge.
Right, well,
on the
we
other
won't
side.
hold our breath on the village putting sidewalks down Rockledge, but, okay, so my logic about bringing it to one driveway is pretty similar to my logic about bringing it back to the last driveway, if there's a telephone pole and a hydrant in the way. Is there anybody that could tell me I'm crazy on this, or else agree with me? George, is there some reason I should not be saying that?
So, there is room.
George Palmer, our engineer to the artificial intelligence keeping minutes.
So, Mr. Chairman, there is room in the right-of-way. The right-of-way goes up to the curb, so the sidewalk could go around the pole and come back to the curb side. We actually did that on Church Street.
Say that again, George, I'm sorry.
So the sidewalk could go around the pole and come back to the curb. It doesn't have to go straight through the utility pole. So if you look at Church Street, what we recently did is the sidewalk goes around the pole and then comes back. So there's
To the inside, I assume?
towards the building.
Towards the building, yes, okay.
So actually, if you look at the rendering actually shows asphalt there. So,
The rendering,
yeah,
this,
if you look at the rendering, there's no utility pole, and it's got a black swath of asphalt there.
Yeah, you know, the renderings often have mysterious colors filling them in. You know, it's the CAD systems, you know, fill that in with some splotch, yeah.
Yeah, it's missing the utility
Right,
pole,
that's-
it's missing
I-
the fire
yeah.
hydrant, it's missing a lot of.
Yeah, that's not an accurate, that's not a completely accurate detail there on the rendering. And it looks like there's a big puddle in the driveway. Yeah. All right, so,
The pole the pole has a guy wire also on that side, so there are a number of reasons why.
Okay.
We would prefer to leave it as it was approved the
well, I
first
think with
go-around.
those parking spots eliminated there,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem to be any reason that people would not be able to walk on the paved portion. Okay, anybody, any other opinions on this here? Nick, you got yourself in trouble, I got nothing to say. That's it, okay. All right. All right, well, let's just leave it the way it is for now, then. I did not realize there were those obstructions. Let's see. There's one other thing I want to mention is that we got a couple of letters. Now, if we get letters, they're supposed to be added to the record, but these are two letters that came anonymously. I'm going to ask the attorney if she could just weigh in. Do we need to read these into the record, or?
No, but you can mention that you got them and what the opinion was on them.
Okay, all right.
You have to keep them in the file.
Keep them in the file, okay.
Don't read
So,
them verbatim.
so we have those in the office, we could add them to the file, all right. Yeah, there's a lot of comments here, and some accusations about wrongdoing, you know, as far as dumping waste and things, and I don't have any substantiation on this stuff, so I'm not going to comment on those things. There are some questions about, you know, like who was the licensed contractor who attempted to remove the roof? I mean, the things like that are a building department issue that our building inspector has been working out on his end. They're not our planning issues. Comment that there should be a new environmental impact statement with the new application. There is a new,
An EIS? Or a short
well, no, I mean,
EIF?
you're doing the
Short
secret,
EIF,
you did the
alright, okay.
secret short form,
Right.
which is all that's required here.
Gotcha. I heard EIS, that kind of raised my ear.
One of the letters questions whether the auto repair is an allowed use in the zone, in this overlay zone. The overlay zone, when it is just that, this area, it was a C2 zone, commercial 2 zone. And certain things are listed in our code that are allowed. Some things are allowed by special permit. The overlay zone allows some additional things especially as far as residential buildings and development, but it does not eliminate the uses that were allowed before. So this is an allowed use. They do have to get it is not an automatic allowed use. They have to get a special permit, which they have applied for, and that's something that we can grant. And being that this property has been used in that way for as long as we've all been around, I don't see that any reason why they should not be given a permit to continue that.
I would
so-
like to just get on the record that everybody is in agreement that they do meet the definition of a minor auto repair.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Major auto repair is auto body work, basically, and minor repair is basically everything else. You know, your brakes, your tires, your tune-ups, and your oil changes. All those things you go to the service station for is called automotive repair minor. Automotive repair major is auto body work, and that's not what's happening here.
Thank
So,
you.
yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. All right, so I'm not going to go into any more detail with these two anonymous letters, but if you guys have copies of this to put into the record or the file, whatever it is, okay. I also did forget to say that the applicant did send out the required notices, and there were 58 notices sent out. Is that a 500-foot radius? Reaches all the way to Burke Court. That's crazy. But 58 went out, 37 signed, came back, signed by the people that received them, came back. 21 came back without being signed. Does that mean the people did not get them? I don't quite understand that. 20,
The post office couldn't deliver them, so the people never got them.
the post office did not deliver them?
They need a signature.
They were either.
Oh, okay. So do they leave something that we attempted to deliver? Or do they attempt to deliver a second time, or is it just a one-shot deal?
Yeah, they leave something, that you have something.
Okay, so if they leave you a thing saying, you have this, if people wanted to, they could have gone to the post office to get theirs.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so there was a period allowing for that. All right, 58 sent out, 37 signed, returned. I should read that into the record at the beginning, but I did not. Give me 1 second to see if there's anything else I wanted to just, before I turn it over to the public. I'm just going to thumb through my notes here because I can't remember everything I wrote down here. Okay, I think we covered everything I have on my outline here, so I'm going to open this up for public comment. And when you come up, please state your name for the record and let us know what you have to say. Let's try to be polite. Anybody want to come up?
Hi, Jeff Gallagher. Speaking on behalf of my aunt at 230 Rockledge Avenue, Patty Lang. Just a couple quick questions. A lot of them were answered already. I think the noise has part to do with it, being the building so close to her house. And then also any ventilation systems being to look at in the future for the residents right in the low immediate area, and also the people that are working within that space.
Right.
Should be proper ventilation. I know they said, it was just gonna be a hose sticking out the door, but I would think it would be exhausted out to the roof.
What, let me go over here. George, do we have, what do we have is what's been done as far as ventilation?
So that would be answered by the applicant or the applicant's design team, and it'd have to meet building code.
Could you go to the mic and give your name?
Bernie Calabro, Gowan Measure. We were going to do any of the vents through the roof.
Fan, like with fan vents going up through the roof?
Ranges and stuff.
Okay, As a-
Keep it away from the sides of the building and away from the neighbor.
okay.
That was one of my questions, just for neighbors, and that it is exhaust from vehicles. Now, if it does get approved, whatever way you guys decide, any dust controls and, for when the construction happens, I think the residents should be protected of some sort. As far as like a dust fence, it might be over 6 foot or 10 foot. But,
Okay.
That's something.
Peter, is that something you can address?
and it would only be temporary during construction.
Right. What,
Mr. Chair,
like,
I don't know
is there
the
wood,
amount of-
excuse me, is there going to be any wood frame component to this, or it's a metal structure underneath? So dust would be where, when you're doing insulation, or what?
No.
Or is this not, because it's not like if it's not a wood frame
I
building,
don't know if during excavation or anything. And
excavation, right, okay.
It's probably just during site work,
Yeah.
putting the foundation in and everything.
Gotcha.
There are notes in the erosion and sediment control plan that deal with dust and, the requirement that, the applicant has to control dust during the,
Okay.
during
And
construction.
Can you just, is there any part of that you can briefly tell us about? Like, is it hay bales
I
or?
mean, typically, it's
Is it-
if conditions are that dry and there's a real dust issue that they have to, they have to
Water.
wet everything, yeah.
Okay, so there's something in the documents that we have that address that, okay. All right,
And like the height of the building, I know it meets 35 feet or under, it's a one-story building. But as far as like my aunt's house, she has her kitchen window and a couple windows off that side. And now she's just gonna be staring at a building, if not shrubbery.
right.
Is there any reason why it had to be so high, being that it's really technically a one-story building?
How much higher is this building than what was there before?
15 feet,
huh?
I guess. 15 feet would be my guess.
No, it had a second floor on the original proposal.
Oh,
It
no,
was even
the
higher.
original building.
Oh, the
Probably, what, maybe 20 feet tall?
Yeah, but the other building got approved, and it was a two-story building.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
so I
it
don't
was
understand what
further,
you're
it was
asking.
like 70 feet.
But that was further
70, 80
in.
feet away, you could actually see out the windows and stuff. That was just,
Okay.
Yep.
just observations.
Yeah, yeah.
It's within the setbacks.
Well,
there's really
I know it's only a one-story building, but I think there's a, the inside vaulted ceiling is open, is that correct? And what is it that's, how high is the new building going to be?
34 foot three.
And, okay, so why, can you answer why a one-story building is that tall?
It was just a question.
Yeah, it is just a question, can we just get it? Oh, because of the car lifts? Okay, I mean, I'm not asking facetiously, I'm just,
Yeah, no, I mean, essentially, if we were to put a flat roof on it, I don't think anybody would be happy with that, so,
Right.
the
Right,
the
okay.
pitch of the roof is
Okay,
really
and
what's.
then I wasn't thinking about-
Is really what's causing, the height of,
Okay.
the overall height of the building.
okay, all right,
That's all I asked. That's all.
okay, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to comment? Okay, is there, well, I think if anybody in the audience wanted to comment on any of the stuff we've talked about, the building dimensions, the colors, the oil can, anybody can comment on whatever they want. Yeah. Oh, yes. Hi, please give us your name.
Paula Chacon Paul. I'm right in front of them. I'm the neighbor, 3109 over the Post Road. I have a question regarding this metal
You're
building.
right across from them?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna paint it, right? I mean, I have
Paint-
a lot of questions. This building is gonna be painted, correct? The metal's
Yes,
gonna be painted?
they've suggested this, and we've asking to see some lighter colors, but yes.
Okay, what happens when this paint fades over time? Is it gonna be rust?
Well,
Are we
I,
looking at rust?
let's, let me ask, this material comes pre-primed, and what,
Oh, it's galvanized?
I mean, I think like any other building, clapboard or wood that gets painted, once it's, after some period of time, it might need a coat of paint.
They just said it's galvanized
It's
steel,
galvanized
so it
steel,
will not
so
rust.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that part. From the sideline, the applicant commented that it's galvanized steel, so will not rust. Okay, I'm just doing that so it's in the record. And the paint that's used on it, is it oil-based or latex paint?
I believe it's an epoxy.
An epoxy paint, so that's a pretty durable finish, so, I think that our code does require maintenance if something became unsightly, that, and if they're operating a business, I think they're going to want to keep it, but we do have a code that addresses property maintenance issues if for some reason they decide to let their paint peel.
And there's no way to keep the gallon measure, like fortify it, or even keep it in its current area? I know there's gonna be a parking lot there.
I wish
but
there was a
there's
way to
nothing
just,
we can
to do, I wish
fortify
there
it?
was something really creative we could do with it.
How about
you know?
if even the town chips in or something?
Maybe
Like,
we-
is there any way you can keep it?
Could we donate it to an art museum or
Like,
something?
any way to keep it at all?
Yeah.
Come on, I know we're a small village, but can we do something?
I'd love to hear workable ideas, but I'm sort of at a loss for what we could do with it. I had suggested we put it on the village hall lawn and make it the mayor's office, but nobody
You
liked
promised
that.
me, Nick. You said I could have it.
Oh, I said you could have
You
it.
did.
Okay, sorry. You get first shot.
Thank you.
Okay. I wish that I'd love to hear some workable idea, but I just don't have one right now.
And just so you guys know, with the John Paul, also 3109 Albany Post Road, you guys were talking about the decibel levels. And in the winter, it's not a big deal. But in the summer, for being right across from them, it is terrible.
It's
My wife
loud.
works
I work from home, and
Ah.
I'm on the
And
other
it's
side of the house.
Is
and I can
that
hear them.
because the bays are open
Well, if you
in
remember
the summer
when
and closed in the
building-
winter?
You got it, and the bays were right up on Route 9, so they would come
Okay.
straight across. Our tree
Well-
that we have in the front helps a little,
Right.
but I think no matter what bays, what house
Okay.
or
Well, they
place you're
are,
facing-
whatever it is, 40 or 50 feet further back now.
But I just wanted to at least let you know that that would be an issue, no matter what.
And
It was before,
perhaps
it's
that
gonna be-
That
lands-
would be definitely an issue for the neighbor.
Yeah.
Like for Patty, that would definitely be more of an issue, because if I could hear them across the street.
Right. Although I think it
that's
has to
gonna
do
be
with which
closer to
way the
her.
doors are facing, no?
Somewhat.
I think that's the key thing. Now, I wonder, will that landscaping in the front help to block?
If it
Is there
was
enough of
taller, but
is there
it's
enough of a
somewhat, yeah. If they-
landscaping in the front there that might help with
If they put the
sound
building
moving
where
that?
currently you're putting it all the way into the back, yes, that would also, not as.
Maybe that will
affect us
help.
As much, and the trees also.
Okay.
Would help that in the brush.
Like
But-
Well,
tall trees.
it seems like there's a couple of things that might make it a little better for you, being a little further back and that landscaping in the front. Maybe, we're trying to have that landscape strip a little wider so that there's staggered plantings and maybe not, is everything in there, there's some of the plantings in there are going to be small, like, not just, flowers on the ground, but like little arborvitae or something like that?
Along
The f-
line where the parking is.
Okay, so hopefully those two things together make it a little bit better.
It makes it, I guess it'll make it better for us, but then I'm also concerned about my neighbor.
Yeah. I guess in the summer, you would always work with those doors open. You'd have to, right?
Yeah, I have to,
Yeah.
for the fumes.
All right. And the operation hours end at 5, is it? Under normal days? Yeah, if there's no emergency or something? Okay. Okay, well, I'm hoping those two things serve to make it a little bit quieter for you.
And when the construction actually takes place, we would like to also say if there could not be drop-off of construction vehicles and stuff like that, with the lights pointing into our house at
3
like
o'clock in the
3
morning.
o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, they should not be out there at 3 or 5 in the morning.
Well, we were
Do
told
it.
it was just they came early and just decided to deliver regardless. We did make a comment about this to the board before, and they did say they'll see what they can do to stop it from happening, so we're just reiterating it,
Okay, okay.
And now the lights, once again, we're talking about those lights, that they're not gonna be facing down. There's gonna be new street lights, are they gonna be facing towards our house as well?
No.
It should
they-
just
they-
be the sidewalk,
I'm
right,
not that
facing
familiar with the
down?
light, but, George?
They're meant to not, they have the globe, and the globe has
Okay.
a frosted look to it, so you can't, you'll see a glow
Okay.
to the globe, but it's not meant to shine like the
Spotlight
old, like a spotlight.
Not like
or
a
flood.
spot.
Yeah.
Right. And the lights on the front of the building are also not spotlights pointing out, they're
Yeah, we
pointing
should-
down.
Yeah, they
Okay.
were down, that's good.
Yeah, yeah,
That's good to provide security for people walking by. That's
yeah.
good.
And there should be enough planting there then, that when the cars that park in the strip facing 9A, their headlights should be blocked, am I correct? Is there going to be enough staggered plantings so that headlights are not
That was never really an issue.
That was, yeah,
for
that
us,
doesn't
so
bother.
Because there were no, that was, well, that was open in the front before. Nobody really, anybody in the front was just pulling in and pulling out.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
never bothered us.
Okay.
That doesn't bother.
Okay, so your concern is about light glare and about noise, and
And
I'm
also,
hope.
I stated before, possibility of dust coming our way if there's gonna be anything. going
Right,
on.
'Cause
right.
sometimes the winds
Well, they
blow
have to, they
hard.
have to follow protocols to keep dust down when they're doing construction. And hopefully the landscaping and the building being set back a little more works on your, to your advantage a little bit.
And we still would like to look at our windows, see gallon measure. We would like to see the gallon can. That's what I would like
Do you
to
have
see.
room on
the
your front
can.
lawn? Do you have room on your front lawn for it?
No.
Move the tree,
If we move the tree, maybe you can put it in our front lawn. I would still like to see that if possible. I would really
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
continue seeing such a landmark
It's,
and
yeah.
something that I've been almost staring at for 10 years.
Like I
would be
said,
very
if
sad not to
anybody
see it
thinks they have an idea that could work, please let me know. I just, right now,
Come on, we're a whole bunch of smart people. We can come up with something.
I know,
right?
I know. I would guess I'm not as smart as I thought I
Gotta
was.
come up with
At the
something.
next meeting, will there be more floor questions?
Yes, the meeting will be held over to the next month. And next month's meeting, by the way, is early because of Christmas. It's December 18th,
Okay.
which is the third, it's the third Thursday instead of the fourth because of Christmas, December 18th.
Okay.
It'll be in the village calendar.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's right.
Anyone else? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Cami Perone. Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. I understand everyone seems really upset about some of the construction that's going to be going on and things and change, right? And change is not always easy. But you also have to remember this structure isn't the greatest work environment. And Gallon Measure and Little Bear has done a great job of helping so many kids in the community and giving them jobs and having them come down from the high school and work after school and give them a place to go so they're not hanging out and getting into trouble and doing those things. So as much as everyone's upset, and I understand I'm not on their side, but to worry about the little things that's holding up a family's livelihood and they're not able to do their full job, I just think we have to look at the bigger picture here. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad to not have Gallon Measure, but it's not safe. They just said it's not a safe environment. So as much as that stinks, but for people to come up here and keep delaying the process more and stop them to be able to provide for their family. They have kids going to college. They help so many kids in the community. They pay kids to come after school and work there.
Yeah.
Not for free. They pay them. They give
Yeah.
them something. They're giving back. They do different things within the community.
Yeah.
So I just hope that everyone can take, I know construction stinks, right? The dust, all those things, it stinks. Nobody likes living next to it. But if there's somebody that's gonna build a house right next to it, if somebody's house burns down and they have to build, these are all things with the dust and the this and the that, and we have to build the structure. Remember, this is a small family business. They're not a big conglomerate. They're not a corporate company that has millions and millions of dollars to do all these things. It stinks. And you know what? It's only going to improve our property value. Gallon Measure means something to us, but times change. We need newer things so that they can keep up with the technology and things that are going. Most of the cars they see are probably battery. So my thing is just remember that they're a family business, and that's what we really want to keep around here. Do we want a Mavis Tire moving in there? So everyone's worried about, do they have the right code? Do they have this? Almost every single person that bought their house on that street moved in after Gallon Measure was already there. So you knew exactly what you're moving into. Believe me, I just purchased a house a few years ago on a street, and after I moved in, all these rentals came up, and I'm not happy with the way that things are going. So what am I going to do? Throw my arms up in the air, or do I move or figure it out? We have to learn to figure things out and stop hurting people. You saw Brian's 2 little kids sitting here. This is their family. They're growing up there. Brian's son is talking about how he loves to go there and help and work. And these are the things that we're stopping them. So they're going to have to wait another month to get approval to even get started.
yeah.
You're taking money out of their pocket and
I-
you're also making a lot harder for everyone to get their car done and everything
I'm
else.
sympathetic to that, but like I said earlier, we do have certain procedures we have to follow.
I understand, but I don't
And the
know-
village is, it was not an anticipated thing. The village didn't tear down that building, So we're trying to,
but it's
we're
not
trying to get
safe.
through it, and I do appreciate your point, because, I mean, they're good guys and they're good community members, but, we still have to look at the whole picture and balance out everything, and we have steps we have to follow and things we have to complete.
I just have a hard time with boxwoods or
We're not
bushes
deliberately
and-
trying to delay and hurt them, but we do have a couple of things we have to do, and that, it's the second time we're
Yeah.
going through the
I
whole
think it's just
process.
important for everyone to do their homework ahead of time and come here and let's get things done.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks for your comments.
My name's Henry Gallagher. I was the one that started this, for my sister's health. All I asked for was protection for my sister, and it didn't happen. Well, I want to know what your decision is about the protection for my sister.
You're talking
My
about when,
sister's on oxygen, and I had one of the owners come up to my table, and I showed it to him. My sister wiped the table off 10 times, and I went like this, and I showed him, right or wrong, it was black. I'm worried about the dust that's going in her lungs. She's sitting there on oxygen. I want to know what's going to be done about that. I know new is good or better than old. I go along with that, and I have no problem with these gentlemen. They're good guys. They came up to talk to me. But I also showed them what was in my hand with black dust. You hear my voice? This has been going on for 2 months. My voice is raspy. And I want to know why it's raspy. I've never had a voice like this before. But that's what my point is. I got no problem with these guys. They do a good job. But also, I got to worry about my sister's health. And I want to know what you want to do about that.
Yeah.
You said you were going to put a blinder up. It was never done. He said he was going to have a blinder up. Never done. They said there's a permit on the fence. There's no permit on that fence.
what do you mean by a blinder?
On my sister's house, so the dust doesn't go to the house. That's what we said. We said it right here in this meeting, you were going to protect it.
All
Go
right.
back and look at the minutes. I never said anything like
You
that.
better go back and look,
You better go back and look.
you know?
All right, let's just,
I
your
worry about my
situation
sister's
seems a
health.
little more.
My sister's health is worth more to
yeah,
me
I
than this
understand.
building. But they also have a job to
There's a
do,
bit
too.
more
And I-
emotion coming from you than the other people, but a few people have commented about the dust. And I think that we're going to make sure that when the new building goes up, whatever's done there.
Well, there's not gonna be
proper
dust with the new
protocols are-
building. The
are
dust is
kept.
over now.
If it's really, well, no, we can't go back. And if there's any, if there's any thing to go back on as far as paperwork or fines or whatever, that's in the building department. As far as what we're looking at here now, we're looking at a new building, and that's our job here.
And I say there's
So
not
I'm
going to be
sorry,
any dust with this. It's metal.
but a few
You know what
people
I'm
have
saying?
expressed concern about
I
dust.
don't have no problem with you guys. We live together. But I worry about my sister's health. I'm sure you would worry about your sister's health. That's all I care about. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anybody else?
Michael Wenz, 202 First Street. Would you guys mind bringing up the rendering, the elevation of the front of the new building, proposed building?
Oh, yes, please do.
Yep.
That one?
Yep, that's it. I think you should take a good look at that. And I think you should drive up and down Albany Post Road. That's more attractive than 90% of the things you see in the village of Buchanan.
Okay.
And I'm in support of the gallon measure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you for that observation. Yes, sir. State your name.
Rob McCarthy. I completely echo what Cammie said, and I'll just add one caveat to it. When a local family's lives are sitting in a balance financially with their business, cracking jokes really isn't a good look. That's my comment first and foremost. Second, can we look at the code that you read regarding the color of the building or the design
The
specs?
design guidelines?
Please.
Yeah, is that something we have in the office? If anybody want to come in to see it, how do we do this? I mean, you could
No,
look.
because I'm hearing codes when it comes to the building, and when it comes to his responsibility and Gallon Measure's responsibility. Last time I looked, brown is an earth tone, which is specified in the code. As a homeowner, I get concerned because if we start turning codes into, some people have to follow them, but the board doesn't, and gets to put their personal opinion in on color, just to delay his process,
Yeah.
that's not the way a code works. So if they're mandated to follow code, you're not allowed to modify code without the proper process, on personal opinion.
Well,
110% in support.
what we're talking about are these design guidelines that the village has developed, and they suggest certain
It does not
materials and
say,
schemes.
but it does not say, unless Mr. Zachary or Miss Absinger likes a different color. It specifies the colors that are acceptable, and it says earth tones. Please, Google's on your phone. Brown is an earth tone. Every color in that building is acceptable.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then I'm going to, is there anybody on the board that wanted to say anything before we? All right, I'm going to, nobody else wants to come up. I'm going to suggest that we adjourn the meeting.
Just if you want to ask anybody on Zoom, it's 7 people if you want to ask.
Oh, we have 7 people on Zoom. Is there anybody, do it, how do you?
Just ask if you want any comment on Zoom.
Oh, okay, so 7 people that are on Zoom. Is there anybody out there that would like to comment remotely? Okay, no? Is there a time delay?
Nope.
Okay, so, Jim, were you looking to say something? I was going
Yes
to.
and no.
Well, if you have something to say, go ahead. Otherwise,
I mean,
I'm ready to adjourn till next month's meeting.
Okay. What I would hope for is that we can at least get to the point where we either straw poll the board and we get some sort of warm and fuzzy, at least, for the building location. Colors are another thing. We can talk, we don't want to talk all, week or
Well,
month
what is
about
it that would
those,
matter between now and December 18th? Because you kind of heard the board's opinions here. There's a little bit of a mix.
Well, because
In
this
general,
day- in this
in
day
general,
and
we seem
age-
to be okay with the building and location. In general, the opinions are a little different, but in general, people would like to see some lighter samples than that dark gray there. And as far as and I think there's a general consensus about making that landscaping a little wider up on the 9A side. Am I leaving anything out? I mean, I think you kind of heard the board, and I mean, at this point, we're still waiting on we have to wait on the response from the county. We're looking to complete the process as soon as we can, but we do have a couple of things that we have to keep this open for.
Yeah, understood, and I wasn't expecting the public hearing to be closed tonight at all.
Right.
County.
But what is it that you would need?
Well, what I'm saying is, we can talk into next month, maybe even beyond that, don't really want to, but colors, landscaping, all those things, they're just, secondary things to me.
Right.
The building itself, they have to order this building, and it just, they don't, it
Yeah,
doesn't,
I know, we've
it
had
doesn't
that
get.
conversation, and I'm sorry, but
I can
if you
try
wanted to go,
outline
if
the
you, I think if you do that, you're doing it at your own risk, because I don't know if somebody's going to change their mind or if something else is going to come up.
Well, let me just outline the process of ordering the building. You place the order, and you put into a queue that usually takes about 3 months to complete. The first month is all going back and forth with the engineers and the architects. If we have a slight color change in December, it's fine to do that. But I
What-
need to order the building as soon
What
as
you're
possible.
ordering is the building, it doesn't, you're not the flagstone, not the metal, not the siding,
That's correct.
it's just the structure.
They need to start engineering the structure. Part of ordering the building is 3 to 4 weeks of engineering, leading up into color choices and everything like that.
And that, so it's basically the structure and the windows, but
Not
not.
even the windows.
Not even the windows.
Just engineering the structure.
It's the steel beams inside the building. That because they all have to be manufactured. They all have to, they all have to have the bolt patterns, flanges, welded onto the bottoms. So we have to then design the foundation plan and the slab. That doesn't take forever, but
When I say order the building, I didn't mean we're ordering the color
Right.
tomorrow.
You're ordering
I
the
mean ordering, I'm just.
You're ordering the
putting-
foundation.
Starting the
stru-
process.
The base structure.
Just, and basically starting the process
or the
too.
footprint, if you will.
They're gonna
of the
take
building.
several weeks going back and forth with our engineers to get the structure engineered.
Well, I didn't hear any comments that suggested the building should be a different size, or.
That's what I'm getting at, I guess.
I did not hear anything to that effect. It only had to do with landscaping, lighting, finishes, saving the oil can, that kind of stuff. Now, but still, it's at your own risk, because if some new information comes up, or somebody changes their, I don't know if somebody's going to change their mind, or so.
Yeah, but why can't you just make a decision?
Well, we're going to vote on the site plan when when we're done, and we're not done yet.
The site plan's pretty much done.
Everybody has an opinion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the public needs to come up to the microphone and identify themselves for the record.
Okay.
One at a time. All comments are to be directed to the chairman.
Okay.
The site plan, with the
Thank you, Dave.
structure is pretty much figured out. So I'd like to be able to move forward with the structure. Colors, next month, we can argue back and forth, but.
Yeah, that's really what I'm getting at. I mean, I don't see how there's going to be any new information that comes about and says to you, no, we don't want this building in the back. You either want it, it either fits there, or tell us to go home because it doesn't fit anywhere else on the
Yeah.
on the site.
Well, look, like I said, I did not hear any comments to that effect, but I'm not going to have a vote with the board tonight on approving you to buy that building.
Well, I guess
So-
I'm not saying you have to vote that allows us to buy the building, but I don't understand why we can't get some sort of, feedback from the board about the site plan itself. Like Bernie said, colors, landscaping, we'll talk to you, we could talk about that for 2 months if you want. We don't want to, and I'm sure you don't want to either, but we could do that. Those aren't important issues. The important issues are the footprint of the building, us getting our foundation plan going, ordering the building. I mean, I don't see, in my mind, I know it's a requirement to notify the county, right, for a special permit, right? I've never seen the county come back and have anything to say to me, unless it's a huge project. And,
Yeah.
and so I can almost with almost 100% certainty tell you that the county planning is going to come back and they're going to say it's a local issue, handle it on your own. I mean, with almost 100% certainty, I could tell you that.
Yeah, Jim, the best I could tell you is you're in pretty good shape there, but if something were to happen, it may be a small risk, but you're doing it at your own risk.
All right, so is it the county thing that's hanging this up, or is it you actually want to nail down the colors of the building
It
before
seems to
you'll
me
vote
when we
for an
finally
approval?
vote on this, that I have not heard any comments that would change the size of that building. But on the remote chance of something, I'm not going to officially say, go ahead and do it.
Okay, let me pose it a different way.
We can go back,
Would you direct your planning consultant to prepare a resolution of approval for the next meeting leave the planning, the public hearing open, obviously. And that doesn't mean you're going to approve it at the next meeting, but at least we're ahead of the game in that regard. We've got, like you said, I don't hear anything from anybody who's got a real issue about the site plan itself.
Yeah.
Other than, me moving the
Some of
parking
the,
spaces
some of
back.
the,
little
some of
things.
the.
I could do all those things.
Yeah, finish and
Yeah.
landscape
So-
details, things like
yeah.
that.
And there
Yeah.
are,
Yeah, we're
I
actually-
think George would
we're s-
agree, there are no engineering comments, I believe, that are
Yeah.
earth-shattering.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
David, your take on that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's not unreasonable to have the board direct staff to prepare a resolution for your next meeting.
Okay.
I think the applicant should have some comfort of the comments that have been raised tonight. I don't think anything suggests that the building itself is going to change materially. I agree with Jim with respect to county planning. They're going to come back with a response that says basically it's for local discretion. The county really isn't a holdup here. It's just more of a procedural issue.
Okay.
So I would recommend that you do have staff prepare a draft resolution for your next meeting.
Okay.
In the interim, the applicant can consider some of the suggestions with respect to the color of the building, the materials, that type of thing. But at
Okay.
least we can move that
And
part
does
of the
having
process
that
forward.
draft resolution go into the works give you a better, make it a better
Certainly.
gamble for you to go ahead and order your your structure?
absolutely, 100%.
Well, then, in that, I mean, okay. I mean, I
I mean,
Like-
it's either that or, in my opinion, you got to tell me what could possibly come up between now and the next meeting where, we may have to move the building or change doors or something,
There was
I'm
nothing-
not hearing anything tonight.
yeah, there was nothing tonight
Right,
that had to
okay.
do with that.
So there's nothing I could even do between now and the next meeting
Right.
to change the plan that you would all say, oh, all right, we're ready to.
Things that came up
vote on
tonight
it."
were finishes, dust control, landscaping,
Right.
lighting. I mean, so the size and shape of the building was not part of the discussion. So if I mean, it's not my official word saying, go ahead and order the building.
Understood.
But I will be glad to direct our planner, David, to prepare
Yes.
a draft resolution for the next meeting.
Appreciate that very much.
Okay. You have a question?
I have a question.
Okay. Board member has a question for the applicant?
Yes. for the-
Happy to answer.
Bernie, what's a transom?
Okay. Okay.
Jim,
I'm sorry.
what's a transom?
It's a fixture above the window, I believe,
It's above the door.
or above a door.
What is that?
Marco.
It's a window?
Transom.
Oh, this, I'm sorry.
It's this.
I know what it is.
a
on-
window.
On the thing. That's a window?
Yes.
Oh,
Light
okay.
in the building.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
I guess I should just throw this out there, just so you know, too. Our anxiousness is also, there are financial things going on, other than the business being done. Steel goes up. It continues to go up every month. So the building gets more and more expensive every month. And especially at the end of the year, it'll really go up.
Okay.
And concrete.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
All
we
right,
appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you, everybody. All right, so I'd like a motion to adjourn the public hearing till the December 18th meeting, when we will reopen it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No one? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Recording
A
stopped.
motion to close the meeting.
I make a motion.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's closed.